Hi guys, I mentioned that I wanted to do a getting started series of videos for all the DLCs and maps that I play on Ark, and the first response that I got was do Scorched Earth. So I'm doing Scorched Earth. Now I'm going to say now that starting this map is an absolute arsehole. It is really frustrating if you've never played it before. You're going to be fighting the weather, you're not going to know where you can get water, and on top of that, all of the easy areas, did you hear the air quotes there? They are going to be filled with raptors, saber-tooths, terror birds, and you get the occasional wolf. So it's not exactly a nice area to start off with. So the idea of this video is I'm going to show you how to kind of sort of avoid as much of the frustration of that as possible, what you kind of want to be looking to do, the creatures you want to be taming, and where you want to be going. So let's start off with where you want to go to once you start off. So let's open up the map. Now, I haven't actually played Scorched Earth apart from this little playthrough that I've done here to get to this point since I reinstalled Ark when I built a new PC. So you don't see much of the map here, but this is actually quite good because what you're basically looking at here is all the starting areas. And where I am, this sort of line that's going, I'm facing along there, this line of mountains, so all along here and down along there behind here. There we go. This is where you want to go. This has got little water pockets on it, which makes it really useful. And down here as well, you actually don't have the overheating effect unless there's a heat wave. It gets really cold at night, but it gets really cold everywhere at night. So the starting areas are to the left and the right of this. So over there is like most of the south starting areas, and that sort of mountain over there is the one of the Midlands starting areas. And over that side is the Midlands starting area. So as you can see, there's a green obelisk over there, and over there is the red obelisk. So wherever you start off, you want to be between the green and the red obelisk, and you want to be aiming for this set of mountains, this sort of all mesas almost is what they are. So what you want to do is just want to go run balls to the wall to this area, because if you stay up in those starting areas, you're going to die from heat exposure. Because, I mean, even if you just start off on single player, you're going to start overheating within, like, 5-10 minutes. So don't try and stay up there and sort of do the usual thing. Just run balls to the wall to this area. Now, you will probably die a lot. There is going to be raptors and things, because it's just just even getting here you're going to encounter raptors and things like that. So just try and get here as soon as you can, and once the actual heat exposure is kicked in, you'll know when you're in the right area, because it will go away and it will just say you're hot basically. So this is the area you want to go to. When it comes to the engrams you want to be looking at, so first of all, you're going to want to get yourself like a pick, a torch, a campfire, stone hatchet. You want to get yourself a spear that might be useful. To be honest, what you want to be doing first, as fast as you can, you want to upgrade those spears to boomerangs. And the reason for that is that boomerangs have this really cool mechanic. Is first of all, they apply torpor. Even if you smack like this, they apply torpor. But the torpor is not as efficient as, say, using a wooden club. But if you use them like this, something that's got a high health, you can probably drop. But they actually do a fair amount of damage. The great thing about these, though, is that when you throw them, they come back to you. And they apply proportionally far more torpor that way. So what you can do is, for example, this Anki here, I just backed off and I just hit it with my boomerangs all the time. And it drops and I could tame it. So that's a really cool thing about boomerangs. And the last thing that's really cool about them is they don't break anywhere near with the frequency of spears, as one of them breaks. Wow. Thanks, Ark. Right, so you obviously want to be going for that. Now, you also, potentially you might want to get a tent, but I would say you really kind of want to be saving that hide for your first saddle that you're doing. And you also want to be using boulders. Boulders are going to be really important in this, because you're going to have raptors and you're going to have some nasties about. And if you encounter a single raptor or something like that, you might be able to drop it. Also, now that they've done a TLC update with raptors, if you do boulder one, don't approach it from the front. They can still jump you. Come it from the side. Okay, after that, you are going to want to be aiming towards adobe buildings. The reason you want adobe is that they will protect you from heat, basically. I've paused the video here while I'm editing because I've realised there's something really important that I've forgotten to put in here. You cannot use wooden, stone or metal structures on their own on Scorched Earth. What will happen is you will cook alive inside of there. You get a massive heat debuff if you go inside a building that is predominantly or completely wood, stone or metal. So what you can do is you can build an adobe structure and then say build a stone structure around the outside of it or a metal structure if you are in a danger area. But somewhere like this where you're just dealing with raptors, terror birds and things like that, the adobe will be perfectly fine, to be honest. So if you've got, say, an adobe structure, you could build it up in the nasty areas. The only reason I wouldn't say do your first adobe structure up there, where you're going to see cactuses and things like that, is that you're not going to be able to survive there until you can get this gear that I'm wearing here, which is the desert cloth and armor. Oh, sorry, desert cloth. So you're going to want to aim for boomerangs, bowlers, and eventually you kind of want to be looking at getting yourself desert gear, which I think is like, let's see what level it is. It's level 28. Now, you're also going to be wanting to look to get yourself clay. So let's go back up here. To make clay, you're going to need sand, which is you can harvest that with, the best harvesting is with a hatchet from any of these very sort of orangey looking rocks here. And you're also going to need cactus, which I'm going to show you how to get in a minute. That is the essentials of it. So you just want to aim for getting those boomerangs because you can use them to drop creatures. You can use them to attack creatures as well. Which means it makes, because there's going to be a fair few Ankies and Dodies around here. So that means that you can just back off, you can drop them, and then you've got yourself a source of hide. Once you've actually started to get yourself a source of hide, you could build yourself a tent if you wanted to survive. But honestly, you can build a thatch structure and you'll survive perfectly fine in that to start off with. The tent is really good though for on the move, and I'll show you why. Because we put down a tent, inside here, I go inside here, if I want to put down, say, a mortar and pestle, which normally requires a foundation, or if I were to put down a forge or something like that, in here you are completely protected from the elements, and then when you go to pick up the tent, all the things that you put down inside there are returned to your inventory, so you don't lose them. That is a really cool thing about the tent, which you want to be looking at if you're going to be moving on at any point. Right, so that is the sort of progression you want to go for. When it comes to the creatures, you are going to see these things over here, which are Mirelatops. And these are like the desert trikes. They are ridiculously useful. It's definitely worth looking at getting one of these. But they are quite hard to get hold of when you first start off, because they do run and they're very fast. So you might want to be looking at getting a power saw early on. You can boulder that and then you could just sort of smack it with a club. Even if it's, you know, up to about a level 40, you could do that quite easily. Now, the reason you want to aim for one of these Mirelatops is A, they're quite fast. Let's just drop some stuff out of here. There we go. Right. So they're actually quite fast. I think they're one of the fastest herbivores that you can get. They also have the ability to... Let's just drink that. There we go. They have the ability to store water up to 750. So if I go and stand in the water here, it should drink from the water. There we go. Now, when you try and hit one of these, they do run. If there's two of them, they will attack you, so you've got to be careful of that. Now, potentially you could drop one of these if you see it stuck or it's in, say, a fairly tight area. You could throw like a little barrier around it, just get some spike walls, throw them around, and then sort of use your throw for the boomerang. I will say, though, that if you don't see an opportunity for that presents itself, don't be counting on that. What you probably want to be doing is looking at getting yourself a power saw. Use the power saw to harvest, say, berries. And there's other ways you can actually harvest wood quite efficiently with a power saw in Scorched Earth. And that'll allow you to build things. Work on your adobe structure, and that will get you to 21 quite quickly. At which point you can hunt one of these down with a bow and trank arrow. Now, with the boomerang, it's very easy for you to drop Ankies and Dodicaruses. So if you see an Anki that's a decent level, and it's a fairly safe area and you have the ability to keep it safe, it might be worth looking at getting one because they're so ridiculously tanky. They'll be a good sort of guard dog. Even though you won't be able to have the saddle for it for a long time, they will be a good guard dog. Also, when it comes to the parasaurs, is they do have this ability now to see if there's any enemies around, and you can put them on top. Right, so that is the creatures you want to be looking to tame, and obviously the progression you want to be going through. When you're actually running around, when you first start off though, that's obviously not going to be viable to start off with. But there's a couple of things that will make your life easier. Now, the first one of these is using the cacti to your advantage. These things, when you actually look at the cactus sap, it says that it rehydrates you. That's not what happens. If you hit one of these though, it will refill your water. Let's see if I can... yeah, so my water is there. So I go smack. You see my water's going up. I'm going to do it again. There we go. Now, if you attack just these cactuses here, you will get thatch and cactus sap. If you want more thatch, just use a pickaxe. If you want more cactus, use a hatchet. These trees are the same thing. These are cactus trees, or whatever you call them. And if you use a hatchet, you're going to get more wood. A pickaxe to get you more thatch, and you get cactus sap, and they will refill your water. And there's also a plant that you will find around these cactus formations that is ridiculously useful. So let me go to some of these. These plants here, when you harvest them, they will give you wood. Sorry, I'm going to move on from that that I just had. Anyway, so when you harvest these plants here, they will give you, like, as you see, a little bit of wood when you do that. But if you actually harvest them with any herbivore, you will get quite a lot out of that. So if you watch this. As you see, that's not an insignificant amount there. So that is really useful, and that will work with a parasaur. That's why I'm saying that you don't necessarily need a Mirelatops to start off with, because with a parasaur, you can still get wood, you can just harvest thatch by hand. They'll get you lots of berries, so that you'll be able to do what you need to do to level up, and then sort of work towards one of these. But if you can, like I said, pin one of these in. Another thing you want to be looking for is if you need water or oil later on, is you want to look for those big bugs that you see flying about, these jug bugs. Now you can tell what resource you're going to get from the colour of their bottoms. So if we go up to here, the red ones will give us oil, as you can see. And if we can find a blue one, it will give us water. Right, here's a blue one here, and these ones will give you water. Now, depending on how sort of swollen up their backs are, that will tell you how much water you can grab from it. So just walk up and press E. There you go. So those bugs are really, really good to get. If you find a few of them in an area, they will be able to keep you hydrated. But like I said, you want to get down into this area anyway to kind of stave off that dehydration. So those cactuses and those jug bugs are kind of actually what you want to be looking at for your resources, both for your water when you're out and about, and for your thatch and your wood, because there's not many trees about. And if you want to go into areas with lots of trees, you're actually going to end up sort of in the nasty heated area, which you can survive perfectly fine if you've got desert gear. But if you don't have desert gear, you're going to die really quickly. Okay, so the final thing I wanted to talk about was where you can get, say, some of the more advanced resources. So that would be Silica Pearls, Crystal. Obviously, you're going to want to be looking at Sulfur, Rock Salt, Obsidian, and things like that. Now, the Silica Pearls will appear in this valley when it gets to night time. So let me do a little bit of a cheaty here. So as you can see, they'll appear in the valley like this, and then we go back to daytime. There we go. Now, when it comes to the things like Crystalline Obsidian, what you want to be aiming for is if you're looking at the red obelisk over there, you want that mountain to the right of it. So what we're going to do is we're going to go up the side of the valley here closest to the red obelisk. And we're just going to go up here. Now we're going to go along the edge of it once we're up in this sort of ridge until we see a slope that goes up. And actually what we're looking for is, you see that sort of cliff face directly ahead of us, that's where we're going to go to. And now from here what we're going to do is going to follow up to the left, and we're going to see a massive field of silk plants. Right, so once we see these, we are actually in a sort of a good place to go and actually get up this mountain, because you're going to see why you need to come at this from a specific angle in a second. Right, so I'm going to turn off my map here. Also, when it comes to harvesting steel plants, so either these ones or the white ones you'll find down in the valley, best to do it by hand, because as far as I know, you don't get silk using either the power saw or this guy. So once you're on the edge of this ravine here, and there is things down in that ravine by the way, what we're going to do is we're going to go around and we're going to see a little pathway over the top. Here we go. And then we're just going to go to the left over there. But first of all, I just want to show you there is actually an explorer's note right here, which is if you're able to get to it, that'd be a good couple of levels if you grab that. Although make sure you can actually survive, otherwise you'll lose the buff. But if you just desperately need a couple of levels, that'll do it. So on the left here, we're just going to plop over the top here, and then we go up towards the mountain. And what we should be able to do is just run up the side of the mountain in this guy. Oh, there's a raptor. As you see, if you actually aim it right, you can just stop them from ever hitting the Mirelatops. That's why these things are so damn good for these starting areas. And that goes for anything it can fling, which is pretty much anything in this area. You do get RGs up here, and the other thing I want to warn about is Carnos and Golems. Come on if you think you're hard enough. Ah, he's stuck, I don't need to worry about it. So if you do want to get yourself an RG, as you can see, they do spawn up here a little bit. There's also vultures at the top here, so do be careful. Right, so once you get up on this path here, so I had to get a couple of things, you're going to start seeing rock salt and you're going to start seeing sulfur. And as you go up further up here, you'll start seeing metal rocks. Now just be careful, there are Carnos up here as well. This guy should be able to deal fairly well. Though if you've got a decent level one, you should be able to deal with things like Carnos. I'm actually in a very bad position here. I can't knock it up the hill, so to speak. Let's hide from that. And that there is a rock golem. So let's see if I can sneak past it. Am I going to have to? Get past it. No, I've got myself stuck. That was stupid. Let's see if I can lead it. So when you've got these rock golems up here, what you're going to have to do is basically peg it to see if you can just get it to move to the point where you can get around it, or if not, do this. Has he gone back down? Yeah, okay. So if you see one in that position that you can't go past, what you can do is get up the side here. If it's right at the top, then you're going to have to lead it back down. Here we go. Right, now up here is where you're going to find crystal, and you'll find the occasional obsidian rock up here. Also, these rocks here that, as you can see, are slightly more yellow than brown, than orange. They will actually act like river rocks, so if you attack them with a pickaxe, you can still potentially get metal out of them, whereas you don't get them from the ones down the valley there. Right, so, and this is where you would be able to get things like, I said, your crystal, your obsidian. And those are things you're going to need if you want to do, for example, the helmet of the desert gear, or if you want to get like yourself a glass jar, or if you want to start working towards fabricators and things like that, you're going to need things from up here. But anyway guys, so I don't want this video to go on for too long. Hopefully that will give you an idea of how you can survive and where you can get certain things. Just a quick recap. When you start off, just run balls for the wall for those things over there. We're aiming for those mountains there, so if you're on that side or this side, you want to be between two obelisks and aiming for those mountains. You want to be using Cactus to get your water back up. If you're not near a water source, just smack it. You can even do it with your fists. The actual cactus themselves will give you the thatch. The cactus tree will give you wooden thatch. You've got those plants where you can get wood from them by harvesting them. You've got the bugs where you can get the oil and the water from them. Using your boomerang, you can easily drop Dodicaruses and Ankies, although obviously you want a couple of extra of them. You want to be having bowlers on you to deal with raptors, and obviously you want to get yourself a parasaur, or if you can, get yourself one of these things, but these things will run or they will get aggressive if there's a group of them. And then if whatever you want after that, just come up here. Right guys, so hope you found that useful. I'm going to do a little let's play of this in the future. Hopefully I'll get it done a little bit later on this week. It is the semi-final today, so I doubt I'm going to be sober enough to record later on. Could be fun though. Right, have fun guys. I hope this helped. Catch you all soon. Bye.